Hi, and welcome back to Dummy Variables and this programming series for beginners in Python. I'm Jacob, this is my software developer friend Nick, and today we're going to talk about control flow.
Yeah, that's right. So when we say control flow, we're just talking about if-then statements. So let's jump straight in. I've prepared a slide to explain what it is exactly. So we can imagine our program running from the top, coming down, and it hits this if statement, and then there's a condition. So whatever the condition is it true? Is it false? They're the options. And then it's going to branch out depending on whether it's true or false. And so I've written here statement. It can be more than one statement, but that's basically how it works. You evaluate a condition, see whether it's true or false, and then continue on that branch. So is that making sense, Jacob?
Right, and the condition were like the comparisons we did in the last episode at the end. And the statement is basically a line of code, do something if this is true.
Exactly. So those sorts of things. So the condition can be anything that will be in some way true or in some way false. So exactly these is greater than, is less than, is equal to, these sorts of things. But you can have anything that will become a Boolean, and that can be your condition.
Okay.
The thing is, it does get a little bit more complicated because we've got if, else, and kind of otherwise. So we'll be talking about this. I just thought it was a bit too simple, the first one, for an example. Let's ramp it up straight away. This is stuff that you've seen before, so hopefully it won't be too much for you, Jacob. Mm-hmm. So we can see our program coming in at the top left there, if. So it's run some stuff, and then it gets to this condition. And so we can build it in such a way that we check one condition, and if that's true, then we move across into that statement. And after that statement, we follow on with the rest of the code. That's the top row of this diagram up the top there. If that first condition is false, we have the option to keep checking conditions. So we can check a second condition and see if that is true or false. So again, if that's true, that'll move along. And we can do this as many times as we want. And at the end, we also have the option to have an otherwise case. That's if none of the previous things evaluated to true, then do this anyway. That we don't have to have it. We can just do nothing. We can just leave the otherwise out. But it's an option for us. So after all of that, all the branches come back together, and we continue on with the rest of our program.
Got it. Sort of reminds me like one of those choose your own adventure books earlier. I don't know if you've read that.
Yeah, I know the ones. That's exactly what it's right. Like it's branching. Right. One thing about this is at the end, though, at the end of our block of if, then the program will come back together. Mm-hmm. So you can write the program in such a way that it will terminate. I think choose your own adventure books typically branch and never come back together. So maybe that's one difference. You can write a program where the branches never return to one another, but in a simple example, as we'll see in a moment, they will do that.
Okay, let's see how that looks like.
Let's check people's age at a venue, see if they're old enough to get in. So how about you start with a variable of someone's age?
So someone is coming towards the venue, and let's say they're 21. No, let's say they're 20. In America, 21 is the legal age, so maybe a bit below that. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So this person might be denied. We'll see what happens in the if statement. So I think, Jacob, you've seen the syntax. If you write if, and then the condition. So
let's see. So if they are, we're in Europe, so if they are below the age of 18, we don't want them to come in, basically, because that would be against the law. So the syntax looks like this. And
exactly
what we're going to print out is, well, what would the bouncer say? Maybe just a simple, you are too young. Go ahead.
Perfect. Exactly, yeah. So this this colon here at the end of the line, that's part of the syntax. So this obviously you've done it exactly right, Jacob. And we also need an indent here. So if we had, for example, another print statement down the back here at the same level of this if, then it's not actually part of this if block. This line here is going to get run anyway, no matter. But if we move it into this block, it's going to be part of this block of statements that are run when the if is true. So it's only going to be run if the person is old enough. Exactly.
It's kind of like bullet points in Word. If you like put a bullet point below one heading and indent it, it means that it belongs to the first thing. Okay.
Exactly. But it is important to remember because there is a big difference between this and this, right? They're two different things. And this last statement will either always run in this case or only run if here, this condition, is true. So the next keyword is else. So we can build an else statement. So if something else that. So this is the situation where we just got, this is the otherwise, right? The else is just the otherwise. So in all other circumstances, you're allowed to come in.
All right.
Perfect. So this represents the first slide that I showed. This is just a simple if this, then that.
So let's run this, maybe?
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Okay. Obviously, it says come in because, we're 20 years old. So
exactly. So what about
the else statement is true.
What about if we were 10? What would happen?
Let's see. You're too young. Go home. Sadly, the 10-year-old can't come into the venue.
Perfect. So it's running perfectly. So let's also introduce this this chaining of multiple if statements. So we've got the if, we've got the else, and between those we can have else. In Python, the keyword is a portmanteau of those two words, elif.
Elif, okay. Okay, and with that we need another...
condition.
Another condition, okay.
Correct. So what do you want to write?
Well, maybe it's a fancy new venue where only techno music is playing, so we don't want... Maybe the bouncer doesn't want like old people in there. I know that's kind of ageist, but maybe we'll go with that. So maybe if age is higher than, I don't know, let's say 70, the bouncer is gonna say something like, "Oops, what did I do?"
You ran it already, so.
Okay, the bouncer is gonna say, "Go home, boomer." Yeah?
Exactly. So the first condition, whenever that's not true, we can still check a second condition. So this leaves us open to still have an else statement,
right,
where if neither of those are true, then that's when we're allowed into the establishment.
Come in. Okay. So let's check it just once. Okay, when we're 87. Okay, so let's see what happens if we run that. Right, go home, boomer.
Yeah, exactly. So we've done less than, we've done greater than. We can also do is equals to. So I think you know the syntax for that as well, right?
Right. So we want to have another else if, basically, another elif.
Yeah.
Let's see. How about something like this? Okay. So if a person is 69, that's considered funny in internet culture, right? So we're gonna say nice and let him in. Just catering to the audience. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, nice, perfect. So let's recap. So if the age is below 18, which is not the case, that's why it goes to the next one. the age is also not higher than 70, which is why it goes to the next one. And this is where it gets...
so this condition evaluates to true. So age is equal to 69. And that that does evaluate to true. The others have all evaluated to false until there. Perfect. So this is it. So there are a couple others. So if we jump back to the slides...
Hi, this is Jakob out of the editing room. Sadly, we had some connection problems during the recording of this episode, so I'm just going to rephrase what Nick was saying at that time. Firstly, he's saying that he's very proud of me and that I should keep doing what I'm doing right now. Yeah, and now he's going on to describe the conditions we have here. So x greater than or x smaller than y, we had that already last episode, so this should be known. If not, check out the last episode. The two statements below that are smaller or equal than and bigger or equal than conditions. So you probably know them from maths. This is just the way how it's denoted in Python. And then lastly, we have x equals to y. This is nothing like in math, so this doesn't mean that x is equal to y. This checks whether x is equal to y. And the last one is the opposite of that, so this checks whether something is not equal to something else. Yeah, that's it from me. Bye.
Excellent. So that's all for this one.
All right. See you next time. Hey, have you noticed that we have a Discord server where people can join if they want to ask questions about the things we talked about today?
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's...
Tell me about the Discord server.
Well, it's a really nice server. You can come on there and get some help and meet other people.
You can meet 2 people.
Right now, there's only 2.